Appreciate everyone turning out for our meeting here in October of 23. So, what I'd like to do is, with all meetings, I'd like to introduce myself and give everyone else an opportunity to introduce themselves as well, just real briefly. So, my name is Kenneth Powell. I'm a case manager at Northern Regional Jail for the Reach Council for the Northern Panhandle. So, that's now going to include not only Brooke, Hancock, and Ohio counties. That also includes Wetzel, Marshall, and Tyler as well. So we'll all be part of the Northern Panhandle. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to look at the chat and just give everyone an opportunity here to introduce themselves, starting with Cora Gurley. If you would please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Cora Gurley. I am the lead support specialist at the YWCA Women Program. I'm also a peer support specialist. And I don't know if you guys are aware of the WIN program. It's a recovery home for women. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Cora. Appreciate it. Aaliyah Tanner, if you would.
Hello, I am Aaliyah Tanner. I am the CAP and PABS advocate for disability rights of West Virginia. CAP is the Client Assistance Program. It is a federally mandated program to be part of the appeal process with Division of Rehabilitation Services. So if you're using Division of Rehab Services and you start having some issues, that's when you would call us and we would help facilitate getting that taken care of. The PABS program is beneficiaries of Social Security. It is also a federally mandated program to assist people with disabilities who are working on the Ticket to Work program to overcome barriers to employment. So that barrier might be a Social Security overpayment. It might be something you need at work, whatever that may be. But if it's a barrier and you're on Social Security and you're working through that Ticket to Work program, then that's when you call us. And we have loads and loads of other programs. We do monitorings of hospitals and jails and prisons. I put our website in the chat that I would recommend anybody go check out.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Amanda White.
Hi, everybody. Amanda White from the health plan. I supervise the community outreach program through the whole state, and then I cover Hancock down to Tyler counties myself. And we're one of the choices for West Virginia Medicaid and CHIP, and then Medicare, commercial, PEIA, and self-pay insurance.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. Next, Tanika Brown.
My name is Tanika Brown. I'm the housing coordinator for West Virginia Division of Prevention.
All right. Thank you, Tanika. Obviously, Jasmine will be speaking, so we'll give her her own spot. Jen, if you would introduce yourself.
Yep. Hey, everyone. My name is Jen. I am the outreach coordinator for Northwood Health Systems crisis units right here in Wheeling and also in Weirton. Most of you know what the crisis unit is, but we do have beds available at each unit for males and females 18 and older. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Kayla Straight, you're next.
Hi, Kayla Straight, Peer Services Navigator for NAMI Greater Wheeling. Cover all 55 counties in West Virginia. We're the only NAMI in the state. We also have Jefferson, Belmont, Monroe, and Harrison across the river in Ohio. And yeah.
Okay, thank you. Lake for, oh, I'm going to butcher this. Lake Ferrara, did I get that right?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. My name is Lake Ferrara. I am the administrative for the handle work here. From Hancock all the way down to Tyler. We have 3 offices. We have one in Weirton, one in Wheeling, and one in Cadence. Primarily what we do is we work with what's called WIOA funding. It is federal grant money. So we work with employers to place participants in new for on the things. And then we also provide fund education. That's anything from a certification all the way to degree.
All right.
Yeah, my name is Mickey Bottor, and I'm the coordinator for the regional jails under the SOAR grant. We're called Peer Recovery Support Services. We all the jails within the state, and I coordinate with 4 of them. Northern being one, North Central, Taggart Valley, and Central. So that's me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mick. Friend.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Friend. I'm an AmeriCorps serving the Northern Panhandle with the Try This West Virginia. We do healthy grants, mini grants for healthy projects that support access to nutritious foods or physical activity. Thank you.
That's really cool. I like that. And Sean, I think you're the last one up.
Shauna Lee Curry, YWCA WIN Program Director, also Certified Peer Support Specialist.
Thank you. And everyone knows Krisha, so we'll just go ahead. If Krisha doesn't mind, we'll go and give the floor to Jasmine Howe. She is an employee at New Beginnings. So Jasmine, if you would, introduce yourself and tell us all about your program.
Sure thing. Thanks, Kenneth. Thanks for inviting me today. Thank you, everybody, for your time. I'm an RN by trade for a lot of years, and worked most of those years in the emergency department. I'm a co-owner at New Beginnings with my partner Melissa Maston, and she's an APRN. We've been open for 3 years, and I'll just go into all of the services that we offer is kind of what Kenneth wanted me to cover today, and let you all know we're located actually in New Martinsville, West Virginia, which is in Wetzel County. We are downtown now. We moved in June to a larger building. If you're familiar with New Martinsville, interestingly enough, we're located where the old liquor store used to be, which is fun. So we actually opened as a recovery clinic focusing on MAT services. And after about 18 months, we applied for and obtained our behavioral health license. So we're now a behavioral health clinic. We provide MAT services, which are for opioid addiction and ETH or alcohol addiction. We treat that with Suboxone is the oral medication we use. We also provide Sublocade, Brixadi, Vivitrol. Those are all injectable medications, a little more difficult to abuse, or of course can't sell them because you get your medication injected while you're here in the office. We also have an MAT program, which is for methamphetamine addiction. It is more of a counseling-based program as right now. There's not really a medication protocol for the treatment of methamphetamine addiction. Both our trust, of course, but our MAT clients also are required to attend counseling services an hour a week for 4 hours a month as per the West Virginia State protocol for MAT clinics. If you have a question, please just stop me or because I'll just keep going. And if you have questions, please just ask me. We also are a harm reduction clinic. We're I think we're the only local place from Wheeling to Parkersburg that offers hepatitis treatment. So we do hepatitis testing and treatment. We do HIV testing and treatment. We do family planning, which is condom distribution. We do birth control. We just received funding for syringe services program. So we are registered as syringe services, and that is needle exchange if you're not familiar with syringe services. I've ordered everything for that, and we anticipate to start on that at the beginning of November. So we will be doing syringe services. We distribute clothes, food, with syringe services. I've ordered wound care items, so we'll have those for distribution. Hygiene products, we distribute all of that stuff to folks in need. We're also a behavioral health, like I mentioned, so we do individual counseling, family counseling. Those are both offered in person or telehealth. We also do medication management for folks who, maybe don't have an addiction problem, but need treatment for anxiety, depression, those that are counseling patients and those that are not. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the more southern part of the Ohio Valley, St. Mary's area where mindfulness was. They had recently closed, and their patient load is having trouble finding care. And while we can't give everybody counseling because we're looking for counselor, by the way, if anybody's looking for a job or knows anybody looking for a job, we are looking for a counselor. But we take on a lot of those for med management at the very least to try to have a continuation of care for them. We treat adult and juvenile ADHD. We not do, and that is something that's going to be lacking in the area because mindfulness did have an ABA program for autism, and we just can't take that on right now. We did just fill out our application for IOP. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that is, but I'm going to assume that you do know what this. So hopefully we will start that. We've only filled out the app. We've got the application in with the state. So hopefully that'll start for us whenever the state says it can. We just received a check yesterday for transportation from the opioid monies from actually Tyler County, Sistersville, which is in Tyler County, to the grocery store, to the pharmacy, wherever it is that they need to go within reason, trying to get folks back into a normal life. And we are actually, interestingly enough, and this may not be the right crowd for it, but we're pretty proud of it, so I'm going to share it. We were invited to be part of a clinical research project, a CTN 0102 is the actual number of the project, and it is a medication project between sublingual buprenorphine and the injectable Brixadi. It is a rural site project, so all of the sites are in rural parts of the country. It's a nationwide project. We are one of 7 sites. We expect to be recruiting participants in December. So this might be something that if you all have folks who are interested in maybe trying Brixadi, it's a paid project. So the participants will receive reimbursement for participating. We actually had to, if you are interested in looking up Senate Bill 2028, that bill went through the executive session this last session. That's a bill for us, and Marshall was having West Virginia Board of Pharmacy Law, as we were, for one of their steps, and we just happened to meet in Charleston at the end of September. He said that he would fix it for us, and he certainly did. Thanks to him and the legislative body of West Virginia, we are able to get with the project. That's about all I really have. Anything or questions?
As well, that's all right.
Sure.
If a person's interested in seeking treatment, are they able to walk in, or do they? What's the procedure?
We take walk-ins, especially for MAT. For counseling only patients, like I mentioned, we are short on counselors, so we can't take walk-ins if you're just counseling. But if you're MAT or your trust, anything that you require immediate intervention, you see the nurse practitioner immediately that day to get their treatments. So we set that up based on how long their prescription is going to be.
Excellent. Another question I have, you mentioned earlier that you had a program specifically geared towards those whose primary drug of choice is methamphetamines. That's interesting to me because I know in my career that is very commonplace to see people mixed up with the justice system and also have a methamphetamine addiction. It doesn't seem to get as much attention as the opioid or alcohol related addiction. So I was kind of curious, what makes your methamphetamine program unique? And what exactly makes it different from, say, other MAT programs, beyond the obvious, lack of medications, because of methamphetamine?
I could go into a long station with you about possible methamphetamine, but this is maybe not the crowd for that. So it's a trust program, and it actually is. It's a West Virginia program. And basically how it works, and to be honest with you, with people coming in off the street wanting to get off methamphetamines. If I'm being completely honest, the majority of these folks are involved either with DHHR or with the prison system, and that's why they have to get off the methamphetamine. So the trust program is counseling type based. They would meet twice a week. They'll do an hour of individual counseling and an hour of group counseling. And I'm not a counselor, so I don't participate in the process, but they meet in actually this room that I'm in now, and do all of their group projects, counseling issues together. And then they meet individually with the counselor as well. And that's twice a week.
Awesome. And I know you actually answered this already, but I'm not sure I understand, because I know the transportation program is really new. Are you guys able to start that now, or when's the start date for it?
Well, we just got the money yesterday. Right. So we're actually looking for the vehicle. I have 3 vehicles right now that I'm going to go look at. Our goal is to have that started before the beginning of December, because the weather is going to get bad. And we've been fighting for this money for probably 6 months, and we just had it come through yesterday. So it's a lot of money. And it's we couldn't spend the money until we had the money, because we're very small business and we just don't have it. So we're very grateful to the city of Sistersville. They did this for their constituents so that they could get what they need. And if you live in the Mid-Ohio Valley, you know that transportation is a big problem. And so we're hopeful to be able to do a little part in making that better.
I mean, no, that's a very big deal. It's definitely an issue I run into with the inmate population, is lack of transportation. And Wetzel County in particular has a lot of, rural pockets, haulers, as we called them when I was growing up. So, is your transportation program able to serve places like, say, Dolan Run, and places like people I work with, and they might live in, Littleton, and they feel like they're stranded. So they're very big.
The plan is to get to those folks who can't get here. And the Tyler County Commissioners actually have earmarked their portion of the opioid money for reimbursement for transportation mileage through us. So Tyler County is going to be well taken care of. And we're just going to eat Wetzel County right now, everybody here.
Okay, and someone put a question in the chat. I'm just going to read it off so it's easier for you. The question is, what are the requirements for participating?
One thing, we will already know that. We'll get that going. But if you need a ride to a different doctor or a pharmacy or something like that, I would say a couple weeks in advance would probably be a good idea.
That was questions I have. Does anyone else have any questions for Jasmine? Okay, so Jasmine, I really appreciate you presenting. I'm glad to see, especially as you know, Nashville's my hometown, so that's where I was born. officers finally starting to appear there and have transportation service. So thank you so much for that.
Sure.
Briefly, I do want to open the floor. Elise, you posted something in the chat, community events going on. Shauna Lee, can you share that with us just briefly? Shauna, you have your mic muted.
I apologize. I'm on my phone. Yeah, so we have an event coming up, Strike Out for Domestic Violence, and that event is, hold on. I wasn't prepared. Caught me off guard. Okay. So they will be bowling. We do it every year. Friday, October the 25th from 6 to 8. It's a free event and will be taking place at the St. Clairsville Lanes. So if you have some free time that night, come out and bowl with us. It's going to be fun.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And for those who need a refresher on that, or again, the link is in the chat. And I believe Krisha was going to also send it in the Reach email. So you all should have access to that for those who are interested. What else here? Krisha, do you have anything for us?
Yeah, so I dropped earlier in the chat the registration link finally for the Leading for Justice Summit in January in Charleston. So I just sent that out early, or put that in the chat earlier. Also, West Virginia Restorative Justice Week is the week of November 20th. So on the 20th, they'll have circles throughout the state. You do have to register. It's free though. You just register so that you can find the circle that is happening closest to your area. And if anybody is interested in learning how to host and participate in circles, you can reach out to that information as well. And then I dropped a couple pictures in that Heather and I went to Bluefield State yesterday and did a reentry simulation for the students. And it was a pretty fun time. You know, they're given an identity to assume for the day. And 15 minutes is equivalent to a week. And you may have some forms of identification. You may have some money. You may have some transportation tokens. You have a wild card. Your life card says, you know, who you are, what your education is, what your offense was, if you have children, what your living situation is. And then you have things that you have to complete throughout the week, you know, go do your drug screen, go see your probation officer. Do you have to go to parenting classes? Do you have to go to just wherever? And so they have to do all of these things within their 15-minute time period to simulate a week. Lots of frustration, and it was a very good experience. At times I will walk around and hand them a baby doll and say, oh, you completed your parenting classes, you get your child back. Or DNA says it is your baby, you get your baby. Also had to take a couple babies away from people and send them to, you know, CPS and angry parents. So it's a very fun experience. We've had a couple of facilities, FCI Beckley and then Alderson have reached out this week. They would like us to do it on the inside. So if you're interested in having it up there in that area, Ashley is normally the one that does the simulations up there in that area. So we can get you in touch with her. But it's a lot of fun, very eye-opening, very empathetic.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Only major update I have for the group, trying to get a financial literacy class here in the regional system for our jail population. We have, for our population, and just for those who don't know, our jail is very unique. It has a jail and a prison in the same building. So, you know, that's a thing. That's what we deal with. So, but I'm working with our adult education team as well as a representative from West Banco. We want to see what we can't do to make that happen. Things are going off in the right track. So I think once our adult education team gets back from I think they're on a training seminar right now. So when they get back, I'll touch base with them and we'll get that started. So that's looking good. Obviously, YWC has a lot of events going on. Shauna Lee already told you all about that. But for the most part, that's all I have for now, unless anyone has any input they would like to add. All right, so just to reiterate, we do not have a meeting in December. We will have one in November, of course. Obviously, you guys get the email and the to get the meetings up and running, doing pretty solid. We have a pretty good turnout today, so definitely appreciate everyone for sharing. Thanks so much, guys. Unless anyone has any questions for me.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good one. I'm going to head out.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.